Hello, everyone. I'm Jamie Price. We have just had a powerful equinox, and now we're opening into an eclipse series in October. And this is actually a time frame that Ariane has been talking about since the beginning of the year when they gave me the overall energies of the year. And of course, we are still continuing what they are calling the tri-wave integration of the brain. The overall energies this year, all about connection, and that's helping us to integrate our fuller flow of creation, which is our divine, masculine, feminine integrated. It's the electromagnetic, balanced, so that we are using that full flow, the give and receive, the inner and the outer, part of our creative power. Now, the tri-wave integration is assisting us with the subconscious and conscious mind connecting into that natural higher dynamic of connection, the superconscious. And this integration will continue over time, but it's really supported by your focus on relaxing the mind into a neutral state so that you're open to that new information and you're not polarizing toward or against something. The September post for Mind Connections said this in a really beautiful way. Ariane said that we do this in a meditative state, a creative state, and a neutral observant state. So that neutrality is very important, and that helps to put us in the now moment. There is actually a lot coming up that I'll be talking about in this video. So I'm actually going to talk about the eclipses in my newsletter this month so that I can cover everything here that I've been shown. The energy focus this month is sacred sound. And you know, we are constantly emitting sound, and some of that is more direct, but we also do this in our silence. So this month of sacred sound is all about focusing into the sacred information that you are constantly flowing. The first way that I was shown this was Gabriel's horn. And those of you that have been following me since 2020, when this first came up, you know that this has a lot of different meanings. Archangel Gabriel is known as the messenger of God and announces the resurrection at the end of time, which for our ascension means that it's a greater conscious resonance with universal time, the now moment, or integrating beyond linearity, even though we're still experiencing it here in this density. Gabriel's horn is also a mathematical formula that has infinite surface area, but a finite volume, creating a mathematical paradox. And to me, this represents us, finite in this density and infinite beyond this density, even as we are within it. And I will link to more information about Gabriel's horn in the description below, because I've written a lot about that, have other videos about that. Now, let's tie this into sacred sound beyond the obvious horn reference. As you know, we are constantly receiving and emitting information, vibration, energy, sound, light. These are all synonyms. And I've spoken for years about the power of your sacred inner realm, how it attunes to subtle flow or universal law, unconditional love, which is all about connection. Your inner realm is your sovereign realm of creativity. It's where you align with the subtle rules of life, that malleable preform. And this is why Ariane constantly reminds us, we never just hear or see something, we receive it. You take it in. It becomes part of your information, your energy. And the light work is what you do with it. Can you transform and create with it? Or do you get overwhelmed? Can you neutralize through forgiveness, understanding, healthy boundaries, reframing things, authentic emotional processing? Can you shift those endings and beginnings, or the unknowns and opposites, into the change that you want to see in the world? Those are topics that we covered a lot lately. And this is what Sacred Sound teaches us, that life wants you to create life, not just taking in disempowerment narratives, whether that's from the news, social media, friends or family, or yourself. Change that disempowerment information into the loving experiences, the loving potentials and information that you want to see here. And you create that change at the pace that it requires for you, for your authentic flow. Sacred Sound is a reminder that that infinite aspect of you flows through your finite vehicle, because you are infinite in a finite vehicle. You are Gabriel's horn, announcing that rebirth of love through the finite moments that you are creating. And love isn't always easy. It's not always pretty, but it's always worth it, because it connects to the next loving creative moment, even if you can't see the path, even if it's not immediate. Sometimes we've worn a deep groove, like that recent post in my newsletter, and can't see an easy way out of what's been created, what the present moment is presenting to us. But you are life's vehicle of creation. You are life. And so the sacred sound that comes from you, and the upcoming transmission will help bring this into a deeper understanding. The sound that comes from you is always sacred, but you have to choose to flow your unique light into your life. So one part of this month's focus is to honor the sacred sound that you are, flowing infinite from within into the finite external. Now, I want to talk about what I was shown along with this, because there are some themes that have been coming up a lot this year as we're opening the zeal point, or the ascension chakra, representing the opening of the mouth that we remember from Egypt, which ultimately this began in late 2015 as that throat chakra started going through a lot of shift in how it was flowing, creating more connection of above and below. And overall, we're amplifying our creative capability because we're connecting the higher self and the human self more consciously, and the body is going to react. And this time, I was shown the elements integrating with the inner and outer flow in a very specific way. And of course, this is not to say it's the only way the elements are. It's just what's connected to the current deeper understanding of the sacred sound that you are. So what I was shown is your inner flow of fire and water to the outer flow of air and earth. Now, let me explain this as it pertains to this, because it's ultimately about understanding our plasma energy, which amplifies the creativity of your sacred sound. Your inner realm is to ignite and nourish. This is your spark of passion, your fire, the big bang of the spiraling opposites, that hourglass spiral that implodes and explodes as it meets in the middle and that 0 point is reached. That's where the two opposites become one, where that spark of fire meets that creative 0 point, that neutrality. And we see this in the subatomic model, where that neutrality is that third energy that allows those two opposites to transform most stably. And in 2022, I was told we are entering the mouth of the dragon, as that year's focus was our creative harmonic, holding those higher potentials. And entering the mouth of the dragon is a metaphor that Ariane uses for deep transformation, because they are always talking about that hourglass spiral, because we live in a spiraling galaxy. So that flow of the spiral is core to our functional dynamics. And so they've been talking about how the spiral is tightening, or we're in a time of that spiral flow intensifying, and that creates certain dynamics where, for instance, resistance is dealt with in a different way, or things are spinning off more easily that no longer serve us. Now, pertaining to entering the mouth of the dragon, they said in a post that we are entering the dragon's mouth in order to become the elements of creation, because that's what dragon represents, mastery of all of the elements. So we're entering the mouth of the dragon to become the elements of creation. And they said, you are the breath of fire that transforms what life has wrought. So beautiful. We are the breath of fire that transforms the present moment. That is the power that you are. It's the power that you have naturally. And that is the inner flow of fire, your passion, and water, your nourishing into form. And this becomes the sacred sound that flows from you, your energy, your information. And the externalizing of that is the air and earth. Sound flows into the physical through the vehicle of air. Those are the pressure waves that are the malleable and creative word of the source energy that you are. And that earth is the creative aspect of it, the creative form of it. Now, let's talk about your plasma energy, because again, this attunes you to the universal, the infinite that you are within the finite. Plasma is the fourth state of matter. It's highly malleable state of matter. It's an ionized gas. And as it pertains to our ascension, it's our state of intensifying our creative energy. That creates that highly malleable, highly energized, very creative energy. So for our sacred sound, it means the power behind your creative force, like the difference between yes and maybe. And even if you change direction, that your movement is stronger and more effective. Now, of course, sometimes things are in a maybe state, that true direction has not yet been shown, but that's the power of your neutrality, because that is when that open creative state is giving power to that maybe state, that you know more deeply that though direction has not been shown, you are open and you are pliable and flexible with change. And your sacred sound is amplified as you're connecting your creative harmonic, those higher potentials, your dragon power, that mastery of the creative elements that has been coming online more powerfully this recent years. So another part of sacred sound is amplifying your plasma state. And this creates the light flow igniting from you, your star seeding on earth. Now, the upcoming transmission will really support the intention that's coming for this month, because as your dragon power is continuing to strengthen, this transmission is deepening and activating your knowing, especially that knowing of the sacredness that you are, your creative power. So that heart-mind connection and bringing that coherence into the physical realm is coming online more. And this is what the year's focus of connection is all about, amplifying your creative harmonic. And that was last year's focus because your higher self and your human self are more consciously blended. And this is what creates that stronger electromagnetic field, that heart-mind integration, that deeper knowing, connecting you and therefore connecting your power. So this month is all about deepening that knowing of who you truly are. Sacred. Be it. Consciously in all of your moods, the good ones, the bad ones, all of your moments. Understand the sound in the silence, that you are always emitting information, and life wants you to do that. That is what changes the world. The loving ones boldly living their lives. You are Gabriel's horn. You are the infinite and the finite intermingled. You are the vehicle of sound's flow from inner to outer, from infinite to finite, and of course, finite to infinite, that full flow. That heralds the miracles that are actually a natural part of divine creation. Our intention this month, I absolutely love this one. I am sacred sound informing life. State it before you meditate. Use it silently. Use it aloud. State it before you sleep. Think about it while you're interacting, etc. Use it throughout your day to remind yourself that you are sacred sound, and you are informing life. I am sacred sound informing life. I hope you have a powerful October and enjoy the crystalline soul healing and light language.
Kema oram nera tand urmem a. Premhe krandat erot sum shariknendet eram. Premhandi erot ono kroretail ermdat et satchorot ande. Premhema orukok okroret ror al ermda it ni neat soch. Tamor kora krandat eret sancharot okoam. Kamank karandhand erot nem sochoret il runot urm bennet ikterot urot sai stor sanar rum hakrandat al runomat im bram hakrandat al urnosok koem hashter tanat arsot bremak al rnenet sum stano sam akrawrat kar krandat ham rot andet ranan an sochorot akrawrat alam arot eniam Kamom akraundot oret sanj, krem hakrandat erot sot araklel rendendet eretand, hermar amrad ekroret, krem hakraundot or sanadshad okrorimbet aratil rnihet sum, bremak eretandot orma mem, prum hakran shair oret sel, ten rendet itsa, prum ha o koret andiar orm, prum handjarot unun sokoret anal renandat ema, Korendend ka so. Brahmahat an shukrendat and Brahmahandet el runo rema. Brahmahat enen such urumdek runtal rana. Brahmam an such uruta krearot oa. Brahmaniarat al doratandet kram branhat iratani arut Brahmahat such anendet ia. Kani harma pramat an such umdarat. Kanendak randat al urna such urma pramhan shirut ukurt. Kande krandat au randat al armbahti in. Nam hortandiat akrad kor krandat al ranat sucham. Tamorma kanad akrandat him pramharat handiar a. Krenbat it shurmat rotsal rna pramahnirat akor krandat ar. Tanande urma bram such mehendiak or kral renan secheratend remed aurat ar en sachaik ma Kam sikrendet Hindia, Hurendet Aurad, Brahmahat Anansuch umdandat, Krandet Hiner dat Itsuchandut, Brimhansuch Amluk, Krandat Hande Or Talendant Imem, Brahma Kansuch Ukrorat, Kendet Orand, Kom Sukroramba, Shanandat Im, Krana, Sund Dodot al Ramahni Eret, Brahmakrandat Atshut Sakrandat Hinet Iderut, Brahmahat Such Krandat Ind, Kalel Ramad Nim.